Hi everyone, welcome back. So in this video, we'll be writing our first class inside object-oriented programming. We have already seen the introduction of the object-oriented programming and what is the difference between class and object. So here I'm going to show you one banking application because as I already told you, OP is nothing but it's a completely practical understanding. And unless and until you are not getting actually real world practical understanding, so it would be a little bit difficult for you to understand. So that's why I will show you this real world application implementation here called banking application. We'll be creating one ATM machine code here. Okay, I think you saw ATM machine. So in ATM machine, what we can do? So there actually we can put our card and we can see the menu. We can create our pin, right? We can, let's say, withdraw money. We can deposit money. Then we can also check the balance. Okay, different actually things we can perform. But here I'm not going to create the actual ATM machine, but here I will give you the high level overview how we can write the ATM machine code. Okay, so that it will give you the clear cut idea how we can use OP concept here. Okay, if I want to implement any kinds of real world product, okay, that time. So my main intention is to show you the OP concept, okay, how we can use in our application building. That is the idea here. Fine. So see guys, if you want to create any kinds of class inside OP, that means if you want to create any kinds of custom class, so you have to use this particular class keyword. Previously, I showed you some of the, let's say, class, I think remember, list class I showed you, okay, string class, str, okay, then integer class, right? So these are the class actually, okay, these are the class. And if you want to see the implementation, just press Ctrl and left click. You will see this particular class. Now see, they're also using the class keyword. Okay, so these are actually inbuilt class inside Python. So these are inbuilt class inside Python. Okay, we don't need to create this particular class separately. But if I want to create my own class, that means if I want to create my custom class, I already told you we can also create our own custom class. I can also create my own data type. Okay, it is also possible inside OP. Okay, so for this I need to use this particular class keyword. Now after class keyword, you have to define the class name, the name you want to define. Like previously I showed you the list is a name, integer is a name, right? Then float is a name, then string is a name. So these are the class name. Now I can also give my custom name, like what kinds of class I want to implement. Let's say this is an ATM machine we are implementing, so I'll give the ATM machine. Okay, so ATM machine. Let's say this is my class name. Okay, after that you have to give a clone symbol. After that you have to give a clone symbol. Now you can ask me, how should I write this particular name? Is there any, let's say, suggestion? Yes, there is a suggestion. Whenever you are defining, let's say, this class name, you have to follow something called Pascal case. Okay, Pascal case character. So what is Pascal case? See, let's see, if I want to write hello world, let's say I can write like that, hello world. Pascal case means you need to write everything together. Okay, together. So how to write everything together? Either I can use, let's say, underscore sign. Okay, either I can let's delete this particular underscore sign. Okay, but it's not recommended to use the underscore sign. Whenever you are writing any kinds of class name, no need to use any kinds of underscore sign or let's say hyphen sign. Okay, no need to take. So Pascal case means if you want to take any name and if this particular name contains, let's say, multiple word, what you have to do, you have to take them together. And whenever you are starting the second one, you have to take the first character in a uppercase. Okay, first character in uppercase, and this is called actually Pascal case. Okay, now let's say I want to write my name, Bappy Ahmed. So what I'll do, I'll just write like that, Bappy. Now Ahmed, A would be capital, AHMED. Okay, that's how I can write this particular Pascal case word. Okay, I hope you got it. Now here is my class name is ATM machine. So ATM machine contains two words. So ATM is the word and machine is the word. So here I've taken the machine, that means M is a uppercase character. Okay, now I think it is clear. Now I think you remember class actually contains two property. As I already showed you one diagram. So let's say if I want to create a class. So class usually contains two property. One is the data property. Okay, data property. And another property is the function property. Okay, functions. Okay, functions or behavior. You can also tell it as behavior. Okay, now you can tell me, whenever I'm writing ATM machine code, I'm implementing ATM machine here. Now inside ATM machine, what are the data you can consider? Just tell me, what are the data you can consider? Pause the video and you can let me know. See, I think I can consider pin is a data. That means I can change the pin inside ATM. Or let's say whenever I want to enter in my account, I need to pass my pin, right? Then if I want to change the pin, I again need to pass my pin there. So pin is a data. I can consider pin is a data here. So it should be pin. Now the next data I can consider balance. Okay, like I can also check the balance, and balance will store my balance. Okay, like how much balance actually I'm having. Apart from that, I think no, there is nothing actually I can consider. So let's say these are the data actually I can consider inside my ATM machine. So now first of all, I have to define the data property inside a class. And how to define a data property? For this, you have to use one special special actually function inside a class called constructor. See, that's how we can define a constructor. So let me show you. So that's how actually you can define a constructor. Now you can ask me, what is constructor? Constructor is nothing but constructor is nothing but it's a special function. So I'll just write constructor. So whenever you will see this kinds of function underscore init underscore, so you have to consider it's a constructor function. Okay, it's a constructor function. So it's a special function actually, a special function, and it has some superpower. I will discuss this constructor in more detail. As of now, just try to consider. It's a special function inside a class, and whatever data actually you have to write. That means whatever data property you have to write, as I already showed you, whatever data property you have to write, all the data property you have to write inside this particular constructor function. Okay. Now I told you I need two data property. One is like pin and balance. Okay. So I will mention it here. So first of all, I'll take the pin. Okay. Pin is equal to, let's say, empty. Initially the pin would be empty. There won't be any kinds of pin. And the second things actually I have to mention the balance. Okay. Balance. So initially balance would be 0. Now see, this is not a actual way to define our data. Okay, this is not an actual way to define this particular class variable. We can also call it as a class variable. This data property can be called as class variable also. Now one thing I think you can see, I'm giving a self here. Inside this particular parenthesis, I'm giving self. Now you can ask me, what is self? This particular constructor you have defined. Okay, so this is the ATM machine constructor. Self is nothing but it is pointing to the ATM machine. It is telling it is the ATM machine constructor. Okay, this is not any other class constructor. Now here you have to also define, these are the variable you have defined. Okay, in which class it is belong to? It is belong to ATM class. So you have to give the self here. Okay, self here, this particular self keyword. Okay, so that's how we have to define a data. Okay, that's how we have to define a class variable always. So this is the actually rule. If you are using Python class, if you want to define a Python class, you have to follow this particular rule always. Now see, if I execute the program, there won't be any kinds of output, because if you want to get an output, what you have to do, first of all, you have to define the object of this particular class. Then you will be able to get that particular output. Okay. Now I think you remember, I told you difference between object and class. Okay. Now if I want to define the object of this particular class, how I can define? So I'll just take a variable, let's say object, okay, is equal to my class name, ATM machine. Now ATM machine is my custom class. Okay, I have created, and object is nothing but it's an object. Okay, OBJ is nothing but it's an object of this particular class. Okay. Now see, if I execute, again there won't be any kinds of, let's say, output, because here I am not returning anything, or I haven't called any kinds of function. Okay, inside that is the idea. I'll tell you how we can define a function inside a class. Okay, we can define a different function, and we can call that particular function as a method. Okay, that time. Now see, if I just show you the type of the object, so type, okay, type of the object, you'll see that it's a class ATM machine. Okay, that means we have successfully created our custom class. Okay, custom class. So previously I was using inbuilt class. Now I have created my custom class, and here you can see the type. Okay, it's a class ATM machine class. Okay, I hope you got it. Now whenever you are using any kinds of ATM machine, if you just let's say put your card in the machine, it will show you one menu, like you want to, let's say, create a pin, or you want to change the pin, or you want to, let's say, check balance, withdraw money, or deposit the money. Okay, so these kinds of actually, let's say, interface actually it will give you, right? So here also I want to create a menu function. So whenever user will execute my, so whenever user will let's say use my ATM machine, that means whenever user will execute my code, they will also get the menu. Okay, like what they want to perform with the help of this particular ATM machine. So for this here, I'm going to take a method. Okay, I'm going to take a method. So I'll just write def menu. I'm going to name this particular method as menu, and again it's a property of ATM machine. That means this particular method is belonging to ATM machine class. Okay, that's why you have to assign this particular self. Self means it is locating, it is the ATM machine function. Okay, this is the ATM machine function, not any other class function. Okay, that's the idea. And inside that, first of all, I'll take an input from the user. So user underscore input. So user will pass, let's say, so inside input, I will just give a message first of all. So I already written the message. Let me show you. Like, hi, how I can help you. Press 1 to create a pin. Press 2, change the pin. Press 3, check the balance, and press 4 to withdraw. Or if you press anything, it will exit this particular ATM machine. Okay, this is the welcome message I have given. Now see, we have defined a method here, and this is also called a function. But you can ask me when we have to call this is a function and when I have to call this is a method. See, whenever you are using function outside of a class, okay, outside of a class, like I showed you, okay, previously I showed you the function, right? So I was writing outside of a class. Okay, this is called actually function. Okay, this is called actually function, and function doesn't have any kinds of self. Okay, self keyword inside that. And when we'll be calling as a method, whenever I'm using the function inside a class, okay, inside a class, that time actually I'll call as a method. Okay, method of this particular class. That means menu is a method of ATM machine class. Okay, I hope it is clear. And how to identify the method, you will see this particular self keyword every time. And what self will do, self will try to relocate, like that means this is the ATM machine function. Okay, self is itself is an ATM machine class. Okay, now if I execute the program, now see there is no output because I have to first of all initialize the object of the ATM machine. Now see I have also initialized. Now if I want to execute this particular method, what I have to do, I have to call this particular method first of all. So how I can call, easily I can call, I'll just write obj. Okay, if I press, let's say obj, and if I press dot, okay, now see all the, let's say, functionality I'm having inside my class, everything it is suggesting here. See, if I just press dot, it is giving me the balance menu pin. That means all the property, all the data property as well as the function property it is giving me here. You can see, okay, it is suggesting. Now let's say I want to execute the menu. I'll select the menu, and menu is a function. That's why you have to give the parenthesis. Now see if I execute, now it is asking, okay, it is asking how I can help you. Please want to create a pin, please to change the pin, and 3 to check the balance, and 4 to withdraw, and 5 and anything to exit this particular application. Now let's say I'll give 1 here. Now if I execute, see my code would be executed successfully. So if I want to execute any method inside a class, I have to call that particular method here, okay, with this particular object. First of all, define the object of that particular class, then just try to call that particular method. This is the idea. Now let's say I want to check the balance. So what I will do, I'll simply give obj dot balance. Okay, now balance is a variable, it's not a function. Okay, so I don't need to give the parenthesis. I'll directly execute. Now see, it will give me 0. That means currently my balance is 0 here. Okay, I hope it is clear. That means whatever property you have defined, whether it can be data property, whether it can be function property, everything you can access with the help of this particular ATM machine object. Fine, this is the idea. Now let me delete. Now see, I don't want to actually call this particular menu here. Okay, I want whenever user will initialize this particular ATM machine, that means they will execute my ATM machine code, directly they will get this particular menu. Okay, menu option. So for this, I can use one very smart approach. See, I already told you constructor is nothing but it's a special function. It has some superpower. What kinds of superpower? Whenever you initialize your object, that means your class object, so that time your constructor will automatically call. You don't need to call it. So this is a function. This particular function you don't need to call separately. Let me show you. So let's say if I give a print statement here, I'll just write a print statement, print. Let's say I am executing. Okay, let's say this is the message. Now see, whenever I will execute my object, see, whenever I'm initializing my object, you will see this particular message, I'm executing. See, I'm not calling this particular function anywhere. I'm not calling this particular constructor function anywhere. This special function anywhere I'm not calling. Still it is executing automatically. Okay, that's why we call it as a special function, and it has some superpower. Superpower means it can call itself. Okay, it can call itself. I don't need to call it. Automatically this particular function will be executed whenever you will be defining the object of that particular class. Okay, I hope you clear. Now I can use this particular smart approach and I can call this particular method. Okay, so what I can do, I can just write self.menu. That means I want to execute this particular method, and this method is present in which class? It is present in self class, that means ATM class. Okay, that's why I'm writing self. Now I'm calling this particular method here. Now see, whenever I will execute the program, this particular line, that means whenever I'm initializing the object, it will automatically call that particular menu function. See, if I'm executing now, see, it is asking for the input. Now you can give any kinds of input. Let's say I'll give 1, and if I execute, now see, my code would be executed successfully. So that's why we call this particular constructor as a special function. Okay, special function inside class. Okay, I hope you clear. Okay, so now what I have to do, I have to create different function for all the operation. First of all, let's say if user is giving, so here I'll just check. So here I will just check if user entered, let's say user input is equal to let's say 1. Okay, if it is 1, so what I want to do, I want to create a pin. Okay, I want to create a pin because here I have mentioned If user is giving 1, I want to create a pin. Okay, so it should be clone, not a semicolon. As of now, I'll just do the pass operation because I'm not going to create the function. First of all, let me define the structure skeleton of my program, then I'll create the function. Okay, now I'll check another condition, elif if user, okay, user input is equal to 2. What I want to do, I want to change the pin. Okay, change pin, and I will do the pass operation as of now. Let me give a space so that it will be good. Okay, yeah. Then I'll take another condition, elif if user is user input is equal to 3. So what I want to do, I want to check the balance. Check balance. Okay, and I'll do the pass operation. Elif user input is equal to 4. I want to perform the withdraw operation. Okay, and with the pass operation. Else, okay, if they are giving any other input, okay, I'll just write in the else condition. Simply I'll do the exit operation from my application. Okay, this is the idea. So here you can just match 1 to create a pin, 1 to create a pin, 2 to change the pin, 3 to check the balance, and 4 to withdraw, and anything else to exit. Okay, that's how I have created the skeleton of this particular code. Okay, so as of now, what I have done, I just define my data property inside this particular class, and I've also taken one functional property. Okay, because you can see in a class we're having two kinds of property, data property and functional property. And here functional property wise, like how many functional property you have to take, I think here I have just written your ATM machine will be able to create a pin, change the pin, check the balance, withdraw, and if you press any other button, it will exit that particular application. Okay, so these are the, let's say, functional property I will be taking in this particular ATM machine. Okay, but in actual ATM machine, you will see some more features they have added right now. You can also deposit the money. Okay, if you want to deposit the money, you can also deposit the money. If you also want to, let's say, send the money to other bank account, you can also do it. Okay, but I'm not going to create all the functionality here because I told you I'm only going to show you the, let's say, OP concept here, like how it can be used here. That is the idea. All right, now what I will do, I'll just try to create these are the functionality one by one. First of all, let's create the create pin functionality. So for this, what I will do, I will take another method after this particular menu. So here what I can do, let me zoom out. So I'll be taking another method called def create underscore pin. Okay, so with the help of that, user can create the pin here. So again, I'll mention this particular self because it's a method of ATM machine class. Okay, that's why I have to give this particular self. Now see, whenever you are defining any other method, make sure you are defining along with this particular method. Okay, the previous method, not inside this particular method. Okay, that's the idea. Now to create a pin, first of all, I have to take the input from the user. So I'll just write user underscore pin. So here I will take an input. I will ask enter your pin, and whatever pin user will give me, I'll just store in a variable called self.pin. I think you remember we have taken one class variable inside constructor here. Okay, inside that I'm going to store this particular pin. So I'm going to call self.pin equal to user pin. That's it. Now see what I'm going to do. See, initially there won't be any kinds of balance in my bank account, right? Here we're not creating the actual bank account. So here, see, actual bank account, what happens? They're connected with their database, and from the database itself, they can get to know, okay, how much money actually, let's say, this person is having. But currently, we don't have any kinds of money in our account. So what I will do, I will ask the user to put the money. Okay. So here I will take another input. I'll just write user underscore balance is equal to, I'll take input and I will ask enter. Okay, enter balance. And I think you know balance should be one integer type data. So I'll just try to convert in a integer. Now simply I will store the balance where inside my balance variable. Okay, here. So I'll just write self dot balance is equal to user balance. Okay, that's it. Now once it is done, I'll just give a message. The message would be pin created successfully. Okay, this is the message I want to show. That's it. Okay, so I'm able to create this particular method. That means create pin method I have completed. Now let me test whether it's working or not. So what I will do, I have to call it here. If user is passing input is equal to 1. So here I have to call this particular method. So I'll just write self dot create pin. Okay, because I want to call this method, and this method is present inside my ATM class. That's why I'm calling a self. Okay, self dot create pin. Now see, if I execute the program, now if I execute the program, now let's see whether it's working or not. I will initialize the object. Now see, it is asking for the input. Press 1 to create a pin. I'll give 1. Now if I hit enter, now it is asking enter your pin. Let's say I'll give 1 2 3 1 2 3 4. Now if I hit enter, now it is asking for the balance. Let's say I will give 2,000 rupees. Now if I hit enter, see, my pin is created successfully. That means it is working fine. Okay, it is working fine. But what I want, see, after creating the pin, again it will give me the menu. Okay, again it will give me the menu, like what I want to do. I want to change the pin, I want to check the balance, I want to withdraw, or I want to exit. Okay, so for this, what I can do, see, after creating the pin, again I will launch the menu. Okay, so for this I'm going to call this particular function here. So self dot menu. Okay, so inside this particular function I'm calling my menu function. Okay, menu method. Okay, this method actually I'm calling here. Okay, now see what will happen if I execute the program again. Now it is asking for the input. I will give 1. That means I want to create a pin. Now let's give a pin 1 2 3. Now let's give the value, let's say 1,000 rupees, and if I hit enter, now again it is giving me the menu. You can see, hi, how are you, how I can help you. Now you can give any other option. Okay, let's say you want to create a, let's say you want to change the pin, or let's say you want to check the balance, you want to withdraw, you can give it here. Let's say I'll give E. That means it will exit my application. Okay, that's the idea. So this particular function is working fine. Okay, this particular method is working fine. Now let's try to create the next method, which is nothing but change pin. Let's say user wants to change his pin, so he can also change it. So what I will do, I will again come here, and again I will take another method called change underscore pin. Again I will define self. So see, if I want to change my pin, so first of all it will ask my old pin, like my current pin. Okay, because if you want to change any kinds of, let's say, password, first of all it will ask for the current password. That means your old password. Okay, and if you are able to give the correct password, then it will let you change your password. So here what I will do, I will just take a input from the user. I'll just write old pin is equal to here I will just take an input, enter your old pin. Okay, enter your old pin. Then I'll just write a condition, if my old pin, okay, old underscore pin is equal self dot pin. That means your old pin is already saved inside my this variable. Okay, this variable, it is already saved. And if it is matching, okay, if your current pin it is matching, so what I will do, I will let him to change this password. So I'll just write enter your new password. I'll just write new pin is equal to input, and once new pin is entered, I'll just try to store in my I'll just try to update my old pin. Okay, so you can see my old pin I have updated with the new pin, and once it is done, I'll just give a message, pin changed successfully. Now again I'll launch my menu. Okay, because menu would be launched every time. Okay, that's the idea. Now in the else condition, I'll give a message invalid pin, and again I will launch the menu. Okay, this is the idea. Now let me check whether it's working fine or not. Again I will execute the program. Now see, it is asking for what you want to do. I want to, let's say, create a pin. Now it is asking for my pin. I'll give 1 2 3, and it is asking for the balance. Let's say 10,000 rupees, or let's say 20,000 rupees. And now see, it is again giving me the menu. Then now I want to change the pin. So I'll give, let's say, see, if you want to change the pin, you have to go to the 2 option. Press 2 to change the pin. So I'll give 2. Okay, it has executed because okay, so I haven't called this particular function. See, whenever you are giving 2 now, I have to call this function as well. So here I'll just write self dot change pin. Okay, now it will work. First of all, I will create a pin 1, enter the pin 1 2 3, enter the balance, let's say 20,000 rupees. Now pin has created. Now I want to change the pin. I'll give 2. Now it is asking your old pin, let's say 1 2 3, my old pin. Now if I hit enter, now it is telling enter your new pin. Let's say I'll give 2 3 4. Now if I hit enter, see, pin changed successfully. That means everything is working fine, and again it is giving me the menu. Okay, now simply I'll escape, press escape button from the keyboard. It will stop the execution. Fine. Then the next function I'll be creating check balance. Okay, if I want to check the balance, So how I can do it? So for this, again, I'm going to create a method, check underscore balance. So if I want to check my balance, first of all, I have to give my pin. Okay, I think you know. So I'll just take the user pin, user underscore pin. I'll take the input, enter your pin. Okay. Then first of all, I will match the pin, whether it is correct or not. I'll just write if user underscore pin is equal to self dot pin. That means it is matching with my actual pin. Then what I will do, I will print the balance. Okay, so print, I'll take a f string. Inside that, I'll just write your balance is dot balance. Okay, balance. So here is the balance. Okay, so I think you know we have I think you know we already took one variable. Okay, I think you know we already taken one class variable balance. Okay, so this particular balance I'm printing here. And if this password is wrong, I'll just write in the else condition. I'll just write your pin is incorrect. Your pin is, let's say, incorrect. Please try again. Okay. Now after that, I will start the menu again. So self dot menu. Okay, this is the idea. Now let's test it whether it's working or not. I will execute the program. Now first of all, I will create a pin. I'll give one. Give the pin 1 2 3, and I will also enter the balance. Let's say 10,000 rupees. Okay, now see, my pin is created and I also entered my balance. Now I want to check the balance, let's say, so I'll give 3. Okay, 3 to check the balance. So I'll give 3. Now see, it is okay. So again, I have to call, guys. I just did the mistake. So after elif, I have to call it. So self dot check balance. Okay, now it should work. Now let me execute. Now I'll create pin 1 2 3, give the balance, let's say 10,000 rupees, and it is created. Now I want to check the balance, let's say 3. That is asking the pin, let's say 1 2 3. If I'm giving correct password, it will show me my current balance. Okay, current balance is 10,000. Okay, I hope you got it. Now if you want to change the pin, what you can do, you can go to the 2 option. Okay, now I don't want to do anything. I'll just simply press the escape button to exit my application. Okay, so now the last function will be creating the last method. It is nothing but withdraw. Okay, so let's create this particular withdraw. See, in withdraw, what happens? Let's say you want to let's say withdraw some money. So for this, I'm going to create a method. So I'll just take a method called withdraw. I'm going to name it as withdraw balance. So again, I will define the self. First of all, if you want to withdraw something, I will check your pin. I'll just take input. So I can copy this line. So I can copy this line here and I will paste it. First of all, I will take the pin. And then again, I will match this particular pin. If my user pin and my self.pin, it is matching. Okay. Then what I will do, I will allow to withdraw. Okay, withdraw. As of now, I'll do the pass operation. Else, what I will do, I'll just print a message. Your pin is incorrect and please try again. Then I will again launch my menu. Okay, menu option. Now, if pin is correct, what I have to do? First of all, I will take another input, like how much they want to withdraw. Okay, so I'll just take a variable amount and I'll take an input. So input, I'll just write enter the amount. Then I will check another condition. If the amount, okay, if the amount is less than and equal, okay, less than and equal my self.balance. Okay, self.balance. Okay, then I will let him to withdraw the money, because what will happen, let's say, otherwise what will happen, let's say you in your account you have, let's say, 10,000 rupees. Okay, 10,000 rupees, and now let's say you want to withdraw 20,000 rupees. Okay, so it is not possible because you have actually 10,000. Okay, 10,000 rupees in your account, but you want to withdraw 20,000. Okay, it's not possible. That's why I'm checking this condition. If your amount is less than, okay, less than and equal to self.balance, that means your correct balance. Okay, then you will be able to withdraw the money. Otherwise, you won't be able to do. So here I'll just write self.balance is equal to self. Okay, self.balance minus the amount. Okay, that means the amount actually he is giving. I'm just doing the subtraction operation with my main account. Okay, that means my main balance. That's it. Then simply I'll give a message. You have withdrawn this much of amount and your new balance is self.balance. That means after doing the subtraction operation, whatever balance actually you have left, okay, this should be my current balance right now. All right, I think it is fine now. Now let me execute the program and let me check whether everything is working fine or not. I will execute the program and I will initialize the object, and now it is asking the menu. Let's say I will first of all create the pin. I'll give 1. Let's create the pin 1 2 3. Now let's enter the balance. Let's say 10,000 rupees. Now let's say I want to check the balance, so I'll give 3. Now enter the pin 1 2 3, and you can see my balance is 10,000. Now let's say I want to withdraw. Okay, I want to withdraw some money, and if you want to withdraw, you have to give 4. Okay, 4 to withdraw, so I'll give 4. But it won't be working. Okay, why? Because I haven't called it here. So you have to call it here. Okay, so let me call withdraw balance. Now it should work. Now let me execute. Now let's create the pin 1 2 3 balance. Let's say 10,000 rupees. Done. Now let's say I want to check. I'll give the 3 here. Enter the pin 1 2 3. Now see, my balance is 10,000. Okay, now let's say I want to withdraw money, so I'll give 4 here. Now let's say enter your pin 1 2 3, and the amount, let's say I want to withdraw 5,000 rupees. Okay, 5,000. Now if I hit enter, okay, it is giving me one error, not supported between string and integer. Okay, so I'm getting this error because of this amount. Okay, see, the amount actually I'm taking as input, it's a string type, so I have to also convert is a integer. Okay, integer type I have to take. Now it should work. Now let me execute the application. Now let's create the pin 1 2 3. Balance is, let's say, 10,000 rupees. Now I'll check the amount. Let's say 3 1. I'll give 1 2 3 my pin. Now it is giving me 10,000. You have your current balance. Now let's say I want to withdraw. I'll give 4. Now enter your pin 1 2 3 and withdraw, let's say, 5,000 rupees. Now if I hit enter, now see, it is giving me the you have withdrawn 5,000 and your current balance is 5,000 rupees. Okay, that means everything is working fine. But here you can give another condition. If, let's say, amount is more than your current balance, you can give a condition here, else you can just write print insufficient balance. Okay, so now let me again execute and let me show you. Let's say I want to create a pin 1 1 2 3 balance, let's say 10,000 rupees. Done. Now let's say I want to withdraw, so I'll give 4, and let's say the pin 1 2 3. Let's say the amount I want to withdraw, let's say 3,000. If I hit enter, see, it is giving me you have withdrawn 3,000 and your current price is 7,000. Okay, that means it's working fine. Now let me stop the execution. So now see, with the help of OOP concept, beautifully we created this particular application. Okay, beautifully we created the application. We just written a, so here we defined a class. Inside the class, actually I have taken the class variable, that means the data property, and I have also taken the function property. Different function I have added. Okay, now let's say your company is telling you, I need a ATM machine for the ICICI bank and for the SBI bank. So then what you will do, you will just try to copy, okay, and you'll take a cell and just simply change the name of the class. Let's say this is the ATM machine for ICICI bank. Okay, this is for ICICI bank, and I also need another, let's say, ATM for SBI, State Bank of India. Let's say I'll give ATM machine for SB, okay, SBI. Now see what is happening in ATM machine. All the functionality will remain same, whether it can be SBI bank, whether it can be ICICI bank, okay, or any other bank. Functionality is same, only name is changing. Okay, only name is changing. Okay, now see, beautifully with the help of OOP concept, I'm able to create different entity for the ICICI bank as well, for the SBI bank as well. Okay, now let's say I want to call SBI bank, let's say, ATM machine. So what I will do, simply I'll go below, I'll execute the code. Now here I'll define the object. Let's say I want to call the SBI bank. Okay, SBI bank. I'll define an object. Now I will call ATM SBI. Okay, now I'll initialize the object. Now see, if I execute the program, now see, it is giving me SBI bank functionality. Okay, now if I stop the execution, now let's say you want to access ICICI bank. Okay, so what you can do, simply take another cell and define another object. Let's say ICICI bank is equal to ATM ICICI bank. Now define the object. Okay, now see, if I execute the program, it is giving me the function related ICICI Bank. So that's why I told you this OOP concept is very powerful, and with the help of that you can easily create like very big application. You can simply write a class. Inside the class you can define different method, okay, different method and data property, and you can create your application. Now see, you can create as much as entity you can create 10,000 bank ATM machine, okay, with the same functionality. Okay, there won't be any kinds of function conflict, although you are using the same function everywhere, but it won't be getting conflict because it's a separate class. Okay, it's a separate class. Okay, it's present in a separate class. That is the idea. Okay, so this is the actually way we can define a class inside object-oriented programming or inside Python. Okay, now see, if I just draw the diagram of this particular class, see, sometimes in interview actually we'll get this kinds of diagram. So let's say, so here let me show you how this class diagram will look like. So you will get this kinds of box. So here the first thing would be written your class name. So the class name we created called ATM machine. Okay, ATM machine. That's it. This is the name of the class. And the second thing you define the data property. Data property wise, I have taken pin and I have taken balance. Okay, balance. And the third thing, you have taken the functional property. Okay, so function property wise, I think you remember we have taken menu, then we have taken create pin, we have taken, let's say, change pin, we have taken check balance, and we have taken withdraw. Okay, withdraw. So this is how actually your class diagram look like. Class diagram. Okay, diagram looks like. So in interview, you may get this kinds of actually diagram, and they will give you this kinds of diagram, and they will tell you what is this particular property, what is this particular property. That time actually you have to answer. So this is called actually name. Okay, name of the class. This is called actually data property, and this is called actually function property. Okay, function property of a class. I hope it is clear. Okay, whenever you are designing any sort of application, first of all design this particular diagram, like what are the things you are going to implement, okay, in this inside this particular class, like how many data you will be taking, how many function you will be taking, everything you can define. Then you can start the implementation, so it would be easy for you to implement that time because you have the reference right now. So this is my, let's say, ATM machine. Inside that I need 2 data property, but pin and balance, and I need 1 2 3 4 5, okay, 5 function property, and I'll be implementing one by one all of them. Okay, this is the idea. So I hope you got it, guys, how to use this OP concept, okay, to create any kinds of project, any kinds of real world application, and how it is helping us, okay, to handle our code base. See, although I have taken different bank, okay, although I have taken different ATM, see, ICICI Bank, then SBI Bank, okay, and inside that I'm using the same functionality, but it is separated because of this particular class concept, because it is a separate class and this is a separate class. Okay, so that's how we can use OP concept. So yes, this is all about from this particular video. In the next video we'll be learning some more advanced topic. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.